So if they were ever going to do an Originals Volume 2, I have some ideas for some songs that I would love to hear on that CD. Hey everybody, welcome back to Prince's Friend, exploring music through Prince. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Prince's Friend YT. So there was an interesting moment when the Originals was announced, and I was like, oh my gosh, this sounds like a pretty cool idea. And then I looked at the song list, and I'm like, who chose these songs? These weren't necessarily songs that I would have chosen if I was to have put together the Originals. Not that they were bad choices in the end. There were a lot of them that I was like, okay, you know what, I might not have picked this one up front, but you know what, when the album came out, I enjoyed it. At the same time, there was definitely a few that I would have really wanted to hear. So I do have 10 songs that I kind of want to share with you that I think would make for a killer Originals 2 album. Obviously, they would probably need more than that because the Originals 1 was 15 tracks, but here's 10 off the top of my head that I could think of. These are just songs that I really like that I kind of want to hear Prince's version of. Maybe they'll make it onto Originals Volume 2. Before I share my list with you, don't forget to hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you always know when Prince's Friend puts out a new video. I'm getting really good at saying that very quickly. Also check out our website, princesfriend.com, for news and other resources. So in no particular order, this isn't a top 10 list. I'm not saying like, this is the one I want the most and this is the one I want the least. These are just songs that I would love to hear. The first one is Sugar Walls. And the thing about Sugar Walls for me is that I like the song. It's not one of those songs that like I gravitate to naturally or that I like love and it's an amazing song. I think it's a good song that Sheena Easton put out, and you know, obviously it's got the cloud of Prince behind it. But there is something with this song that I feel like if I heard Prince's version of it, it would be kind of like Gigolos Get Lonely 2 for me, where I didn't really like the song, but then on the Originals I loved it. And I feel like Prince's version of Sugar Walls would be the thing that I would be like, yes, oh my god, I get it now, that's amazing. The next one is Sticky Wicked, and that's a song that Prince put out for Shaka Khan, and it is a really fun song. It sounds actually quite a bit like Holly Rock, and it has that same kind of vibe. And I feel like, you know, those kind of party songs, those kind of like hype songs, those are really kind of in Prince's wheelhouse, and I would love to hear that song specifically done in Prince's style. The next one is Yo Mister, and Prince wrote that one for Patti LaBelle. And here's the weird thing about Yo Mister. Even though Patti LaBelle did a good job on the song, it never really for me felt like it fit her voice. So I really would like to hear Prince sing that song, and maybe not for the Originals, maybe they can give that song to somebody else like Rosie Gaines or Shelby J or something. I feel like they needed a deeper register. Patti LaBelle's more of the high voice, but I feel like if it was sung with a deeper register, I think it would sound better. Hence why I think Prince's version of that song would probably be pretty cool. The next one I'm gonna call out is Cuckoo. And if we got another Originals, we're obviously gonna get more Sheila E. and Time cuts. But if I can only choose one Sheila E. song to have a Prince version of, it would be Cuckoo. I love the song. I think it's really well put together. I loved the video of like her and Kat dancing and all that stuff. But honestly, such a good song, and Sheila E. does a great job with it, but I feel like Prince would probably do an even better job. Speaking of the Time, the next one I want to call out would be Jerk Out. And this, like some of the other Time songs, weren't ones that Prince wrote just himself. Prince wrote it with the Time. But I still think that this would be a fun one to hear Prince's version of, kind of like a Jungle Love type of thing. Such an iconic Time song, but now with a different vocal on it, in Prince's kind of different style. Because again, even Prince in his pimp voice and everything is different than Morris Day doing a pimp voice. They come off similar, but also different. Another one I would like to hear would be Why Should I Love You? And that was a song Prince did with Kate Bush. And we all kind of like Kate Bush around here. The two of them worked really well together. I think though that was what was missing from the very first Originals album, was that I think it was maybe possibly too 80s driven and maybe too Sheila E. Time driven. And I'd love to hear a smattering of individual songs that he did with artists outside of his own kind of Prince family protege thing going on. The next one would be Elixir. And this was a song that Prince released for Bria Valente. I really dig the song, and Bria Valente did a good job. Like, my asking for versions of these songs from Prince is not because like I hate the original. I really dug her version. She has a good, like, sultry, like, smooth voice. but I also think that Prince's version of Elixir would be pretty cool. And the next one I want to call out is A Man Called Jesus. And this was kind of a longer track that Prince wrote for Mavis on her album The Voice. And Mavis does some really, really cool runs on that song that I kind of feel I would love to hear Prince's version of that, and him doing those runs, like almost like, all right, Mavis, I need you to do this, this, this. And of course, it's not going to be probably as good as Mavis's, because, Mavis could outsing Prince like in a heartbeat, with like her deep gospel voice. But I think it would be really cool to hear Prince hit those notes, and he might even be different notes, because again, we don't know what his version sounded like. Maybe he just said, hey, do some runs here, and she did some runs, so maybe his runs are completely different. Who knows? But anyway, it's a good song. I like it. The next one is The Big Pump from George Clinton. And honestly, that was just a weird thing for me. The originals felt like it needed something George Clinton. It could have been The Big Pump, it could have been Hollywood, there could have been a lot of different ones that they could have brought us Prince's version of a George Clinton song. They collaborated so well together, and their styles are really similar and yet very different, so I would really want to hear Prince's version of The Big Pump. That's just me. And then last on my list is another Jill Jones song. And it's not my favorite like Baby You're a Trip. It wasn't like the one that blew my socks off. But you know what? It's a really, really good song. It's called G-Spot. And I actually have Prince's demo version of this, but if they can take that and they can clean it up just like they did Baby You're a Trip and give me a version of Prince's G-Spot that is as good as that, like on that level, please do. I would love that. Honestly, most of the Jill Jones songs in Prince's version would be amazing, but if I only had to pick one, I would pick G-Spot. But anyway, those are 10 songs that I think would be really cool to end up on the next original CD. Let me know what songs you guys want to hear if they were to do a volume 2. Put your ideas down in the comments. I really want to continue the discussion. But before you go to do that, hit like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/princessfriend. And that's where you can support the channel and really make a difference here on Princess Friend. Otherwise, may you live to see the dawn. I love you all.